I proposed to my girlfriend on a beach in Santorini. She said yes. We kissed as the sun set over the Aegean Sea. 2 hours later, I found her engagement ring in the hotel room trash can. My name is Eric, I'm 36 years old, and this is the story of how the perfect proposal revealed the most devastating truth of my life. Let me take you back to the beginning. I'd been planning this proposal for 6 months. My girlfriend Claire and I had been together for 3 years. We'd talked about marriage, about kids, about the house we'd buy and the life we'd build. Everything pointed to this moment. The proposal went perfectly. Got down on one knee as the sun touched the horizon. Said all the right words. She cried, said yes, kissed me. The photographer got it all. Romantic, cinematic, the stuff of wedding videos and Instagram posts. We went back to the hotel. Had champagne. She kept looking at the ring, holding her hand up to the light, said it was beautiful. Said she couldn't believe this was real. We made love. Fell asleep wrapped around each other. I got up, knocked on the bathroom door. Claire, baby, what's wrong? Nothing. Go back to bed. You're crying. Something's wrong. I'm fine. Just emotional. It's been a big day. Can I come in? Pause. No. I'll be out in a minute. I waited. She came out 15 minutes later, eyes red, face blotchy. Climbed back into bed without saying anything. Talk to me, I said. What's going on? I'm just overwhelmed. Happy tears. Go to sleep. But something felt off. The way she wouldn't meet my eyes. The tension in her body. The crying that didn't sound like happy tears. I couldn't sleep. Lay there for an hour, listening to her breathe, wondering what I was missing. Around 4 a.m., I got up to use the bathroom. That's when I saw it. In the small trash can next to the sink. The engagement ring. My grandmother's ring that I'd had reset. The ring Claire had been wearing just hours ago. Sitting on top of used tissues and hotel toiletries. I stood there staring at it, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. Why would she take it off? Why would she throw it away? I picked it up, rinsed it off. Held it in my palm, this tiny piece of jewelry that suddenly felt heavy as a stone. I walked back into the bedroom. Claire was awake, sitting up in bed. Why is your engagement ring in the trash? My voice was calm. Too calm. Why is the ring I gave you 4 hours ago in the bathroom trash can? I was going to tell you in the morning. Tell me what? She started crying again. I can't marry you. The words hung in the air. The hotel room suddenly felt too small, too hot, too real. What? I can't marry you. I thought I could. I wanted to, but when you asked, when I said yes, I realized I was lying. To you and to myself. I sat down on the edge of the bed, still holding the ring. You said yes, because you were on one knee on a beach in Greece, and there was a photographer, and it was beautiful, and I wanted to want it. But I don't. I don't want to marry you. Since when? I don't know. A while. Maybe always. I love you, Eric, but I'm not in love with you. And I can't marry someone I'm not in love with. 3 years, I said. We've been together 3 years. You've been pretending for 3 years? Not pretending. Just hoping it would change. That the feeling would come. That I'd wake up one day and feel what I'm supposed to feel. And you're telling me this now? After I proposed? After we flew to Greece? After I spent 8 months saving for this ring? I didn't plan it this way. I thought maybe I could do it. But then you put the ring on my finger and I looked at it and I knew I couldn't wear it. Couldn't lie anymore. So I took it off. And threw it in the trash. I didn't know what else to do with it. I was panicking. I'm sorry. Sorry. She was sorry. 3 years of my life. An expensive trip to Greece. My grandmother's ring in a hotel bathroom trash can. And she was sorry. Is there someone else? No, I swear. There's no one else. Then why? What changed? Nothing changed. That's the problem. I kept waiting to feel more, to feel what people feel when they're with the right person. But I never did. You're wonderful, Eric. Kind, thoughtful, everything a woman should want. But I don't want you. Not the way I should. I looked at the ring in my hand, at the beach, thought about the photographer, the perfect beach, the sunset, the champagne, the proposal that was supposed to be the beginning of our life together. So what now? I asked. I'll sleep on the couch. We fly home tomorrow. And then, I don't know, I'll move out. We'll figure it out. You're ending 3 years of relationship at 2 a.m. in a hotel room in Greece. Terrible timing? I laughed. But there was no humor in it. Terrible timing would be telling me before we spent $3,000 on a trip to Greece. Before I proposed, terrible timing would be 6 months ago, or a year ago, or 2 years ago when you first realized you didn't love me. You're right. You're absolutely right. I should have told you sooner, but I kept thinking it would change, that I was wrong, that the feeling would come. But it didn't. No, it didn't. She moved to the couch. I lay in bed, holding the ring, watching the sky slowly lighten outside the window. The sun was coming up on the day after my engagement. Except I wasn't engaged anymore, and I was just a guy who'd proposed to someone who didn't love him. The flight home was 23 hours of tortures. Long layovers, cramped seats, nothing to do but sit with the knowledge that my relationship was over. Claire sat beside me, not talking, occasionally crying quietly. I stared out the window and tried to understand how I'd missed the signs. Had there been signs? Times when she seemed distant? Moments when she pulled away? Or had she been that good at pretending? Don't worry about the money. I owe you that much. You don't owe me anything, Claire. You can't force feelings that aren't there. She looked at me with something like pity. I really am sorry, Eric. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. You hurt me by staying when you didn't love me, by wasting 3 years of my life, by saying yes when you meant no. I know. She left Friday, took her clothes, her books, her half of the furniture, left a key on the counter, and just like that, 3 years disappeared. I told my family the engagement was off. They were shocked, sympathetic. My mother cried. My sister offered to fly out and stay with me. I said I was fine. I wasn't fine. The photographer from Greece sent me the proposal photos. Beautiful shots of me on one knee, of Claire's face as she said yes, of us kissing against the sunset, pictures of a moment that had been a lie. I deleted them all, except one. I had kept one photo. The moment right after she said yes. If you look closely at her face, you can see it. The smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. The tension in her jaw. The look of someone who just made a mistake but doesn't know how to undo it. I should have seen it then, but I was too happy, too excited, too convinced this was the beginning of our forever. I tried dating after 6 months, went on a few dates. Nice women. Nothing clicked, hard to trust, after someone spends 3 years pretending to love you. A year after the breakup, I ran into Claire at a coffee shop. She looked good, happy, was with a guy I first didn't recognize. Eric, she said. Hi. Claire. Awkward pause. The guy with her looked confused. This is Matt, Claire said. My boyfriend. Of course. She had a boyfriend. A year after breaking my heart, she'd found someone. Someone she actually loved. Nice to meet you, I said to Matt. Meant it. Surprisingly. You too. He seemed like a decent guy. I should go, I said. Good to see you, Claire. Wait. She touched my arm. Can we talk? Just for a minute? Matt excused himself, went to order coffee. Claire and I sat at a table by the window. I want you to know something, she said. What I did was wrong. Staying as long as I did, saying yes when I should have said I needed time. All of it. You deserve better. I did. I was scared to be alone. Scared to hurt you. Scared to admit I'd been lying to myself. So I kept going, hoping it would magically fix itself. And Matt? Do you love him? She smiled. Real this time. I do. And it's different. It's what love is supposed to feel like, which makes what I did to you even worse, because now I know what I was keeping you from. I'm glad you're happy, Claire. I really am. Are you? Happy, I mean. I thought about it. I'm getting there. Learning to trust again. Taking my time. Not rushing into anything. That's good. You deserve someone who loves you the way you deserve to be loved. So do you. Sounds like you found that. I hope so. She paused. I still feel guilty, you know. About Greece. About the ring. About 3 years. Don't. I'm not angry anymore. Just sad about the time we both wasted. But that's life, right? Sometimes things don't work out. Matt came back with coffees. Claire stood up. Take care of yourself, Eric. You too. She left with Matt. I sat there for a while, thinking about how strange life is. How you can love someone who doesn't love you back. How you can spend years building something that was never real. How the worst heartbreak can come from someone who never meant to hurt you. Sometimes I think about the proposal, about how perfect it seemed in the moment. About the photograph I kept, the one where you can see the truth in her eyes if you know to look for it. I think about how we see what we want to see. How I convinced myself everything was fine, because I wanted it to be fine. How I missed every sign that she wasn't happy because I was too focused on my own happiness. But I learned. I learned to pay attention. To ask the hard questions. To not settle for someone who's just going through the motions. And I learned that finding your engagement ring in the trash at 2 a.m. in a hotel room in Greece is one hell of a wake-up call.
The worst part isn't that she said no.
The worst part is that she said yes when she meant no. That she looked me in the eye, put on the ring, kissed me, and let me believe we had a future. That she let me live in that fantasy for hours before the truth became too heavy to carry. I proposed on a beach in Santorini. She said yes. And then she threw the ring away. And hey, not because she was angry. Not because I'd done something wrong. But because she realized she couldn't fake it anymore. Couldn't pretend. Couldn't wear a symbol of a promise she knew she'd never keep. I wish she'd realized it before I got on one knee. Before I spent 8 months saving. Before I flew us to Greece. But people don't always realize the truth at convenient times. Sometimes the truth hits you when you're looking at a ring on your finger, thinking about forever, and realizing you can't do it. I don't hate her for it. I did. For a while. But not anymore. She was honest when it mattered. Late, but honest. She could have said yes and meant no, and married me and spent years in a loveless marriage. Instead, she threw the ring away and told me the truth. It hurt like hell. Still does sometimes. But it was the right thing to do. I just wish she'd done it sooner. Knowing to date again. To date again. To trust again. To believe that not everyone will spend 3 years pretending. But I'm also more careful now. I pay attention. I ask questions. I don't ignore the signs. Because I never want to propose to someone who's going to throw the ring away. Who's going to say yes when they mean no. Who's going to look at me with love in their eyes that they don't actually feel. No more perfect proposals to people who don't want to marry me. No more rings in trash cans. No more 2 a.m. confessions in hotel rooms. Just honest love. Or nothing at all. That's the lesson I learned in Santorini. On a beach at sunset, when the woman I loved said yes, and then, hours later, said no. Love is only beautiful when both people feel it. Otherwise, it's just one person on their knee, holding a ring, hoping for something that isn't there. I was that person. On a beach in Greece with a photographer capturing my delusion. But I won't be that person again. Next time, I'll know the difference between love and the appearance of love. Between yes and yes, but not really. Between forever and just for now. The ring is still in my drawer. Maybe someday I'll give it to someone who actually wants it. Someone who won't take it off 2 hours later and throw it away. Someone who says yes and means it. Until then, I'm okay being alone. Being single. Being careful, because a perfect proposal means nothing if the answer isn't real. And mine wasn't. It was beautiful. Romantic. Everything I dreamed of. But it wasn't real. The sunset was real. The beach was real. The photographer was real. But her yes was a lie. And I'd rather have an honest no than a beautiful lie any day. That's what I learned in Santorini. That's what the trash can taught me. That's what 3 years of wasted love showed me. And now I know better. I proposed on a beach in Santorini. She said yes, and then she threw it all away. But at least she was honest. Eventually.